Switch. We'll be live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter in about 3 seconds. Just verify. Why does it say Facebook is on it? 100th episode. This is the Rut Club Radio, and we got a new setup here and a new person in the room. I've also lost my voice. So let me just make sure everything's working the way that it should. I got a lot of different stuff going on tonight, everybody, so bear with me here while I just get everything checked and tested officially. This is where I usually ask someone in the audience to let me know if you can hear me, because it's hard for me to know. So 1 second here while I check some stuff out. Looks to be working, I believe. We should be okay. You can hear that ringing in your ears, Greg?
Yep.
Sounds good.
Barely, but I can hear it.
Good. Always takes a second to get a couple folks in here. I'll text my wife and say, check the audio. Hey Siri, text Holly, can you hear me on the Facebook page? ? Yes. There we go. So we'll just get some testing here done real quick. Doesn't show anybody's watching it, which I find slightly shocking. We've been live for 1 whole minute.
Are we starting at 6:30 or 6?
6 to 6:30, and then
Okay.
7 to 8.
Gotcha.
She says she can hear me. Okay, so you can hear me babbling on. I don't know why it doesn't say she's watching, but we've been live for 1 whole minute. Can you hear that feedback?
6:30?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to mute that.
Delay.
Yep. All right, so there's a couple fun things, I guess, to announce here. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. This is all new, so if I mess up, you'll have to deal with it. And, yep, so people are asking if we're live, so the answer is yes. I'm pretty sure I'm live. I thought I've checked every box here. Should be live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. I want to say Periscope because that's what it shows me. But this isn't the real show yet. We're almost there. This is just the Rut Club Radio. But Greg, you had an encounter over the weekend, did you not?
I did.
And who the fuck is Greg, by the way? Who are you?
I'm just a
Where
guy.
the hell did you come from? You showed up, built a table, and here you are.
Right.
Where you're sweating my ass off.
Well, I'm
just
just a regular guy that likes to deer hunt and likes to fish. Have no problem putting on hard days worth of work before I have to, I guess, to earn my way.
Well, that's it. And here you are. So we met through this podcast.
Yep.
Like, well, I don't know, 2 years ago?
Yeah, at least.
We were chatting online like a couple of, online daters.
Right.
And we want to go shoot bows sometime? Yeah, you want to go shoot bows sometime? I think that's how it went. Eventually, we did shoot bows at some point, do we not?
Yeah, we did.
At Whale Tails, we
At
shot
Whale
some
Tails
league.
down in Oconomowoc, we did shoot league.
I got there and found out I didn't have any arrows.
Then I had to bust your chops about getting a set of arrows. And then you were just going to get whatever cheap arrows you could. And I said, no, I think you need to really consider talking to the boys at the counter, and they would send you in the right direction as to what spine arrow. Because I asked you, what spine? You're like, what spine?
I don't know what you're
talking
about. Still to this day, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
We'll learn you eventually.
So I did. I got some arrows, and then I shot pretty good, I think.
Yeah, you did well.
My tape was falling off my single pin sight,
Yep.
my trophy ridge, and
you
I just showed up and did okay.
Yeah, it's all good. You did real well.
So it was fun, and then we started up a thing, and we sunsetted that and brought you here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And so things are good. And so real quick, everybody, I'm going to just check my phone here until a call comes through. It looks like we have one in the queue. Stand by for just a moment, Kyle. We'll be right with you. I got to check something to make an announcement because we're doing a lot of giveaways today. And I think we're going to do a big Heat Hunts giveaway. We're going to do a hat, a shirt, and a heated hunt scent dispenser. So that's what we're going to do. So this is the thing I can't say. Heated hunts scent dispenser. One of their hats and one of their shirts. So that'll be for everybody that calls into the show will be qualified to win. And tomorrow is when I'll actually go ahead and announce that winner. So I'm just going to open up my little notepad on my computer. So for those that call in, I can document your names, and then I'll do the drawing on the Wheel of Fun tomorrow. So I'm going to bring in our first caller. Looks like we got Kyle from Hudson, Wisconsin. Kyle, you're live on the Where to Hunt Rut Club radio show. What's going on, bud?
What's going on, man? First of all, I don't know if you get some feedback. We got some rain going on up here.
It's not too bad.
I'm driving in my truck. And then I also apologize. I got my kids in the car, so they're both hungry like always.
You never have to apologize for that, man.
So I know you and I have been talking a little bit outside of this, but you getting a chance to go out, see it at all?
I got out once on opening weekend, so on the 15th on a Sunday. I was going through all my gear, and I had it all, and I got all jacked up, and I looked at my wife, and I said, can I go? She's like, fine, sure, whatever. And I was like, I'll take that as a yes. I'm not reading between the lines here. I'm going. I actually ended up driving past my buddy on the way, and he was driving take his kid somewhere, and he's like, wait, so your wife just said you could go? He's like, oh, your wife is the best. I'm like, yeah, I know, right? She's just great. So, and she's watching both our kids right now anyways. So, yeah, I went and did an observation sit, and, I saw one doe that I kicked up, and other than that, crickets, but I expected that. I just want to get out and put the gear to work. How about you, man?
So I went out opening weekend. We kind of talked about that. And then Friday this week, I went and sat. And I got out later than I wanted, but I got out about 4:45. And my wife texted me at like 6 o'clock and asked if I saw anything. And I was literally texting her. It was like between 6 and 8 is usually when they show up. And right before I hit send, I look up, and there's a doe walk in, and she's kind of just looking behind her, and I was like, money. So I put my phone down, got into hunt mode. It was a bigger doe, there was a fawn, and then probably about a 2-year-old doe that was with her. Everything was perfect. They came in upwind, man, I had no clue I was there, just kind of browsing, doing their stuff. And then they walked out, kind of along the fence line and everything, and they switched roles, so the younger doe got ahead at the front, and then the fawn was there, and then the older doe was in the back, who I was waiting for. And then the younger doe got out, and she was kind of getting to my downwind side, and I was getting nervous because I was like, oh, man, this is going to blow it if she wins me. And then the mature doe was walking out, and I was just getting geeked because I was like, this is perfect. Everything's working perfect.
Yep.
And she walks out, and there's kind of like right by a tree, that's like my 25-yard mark. And, she was walking out, and I was going to hopefully hold her up there. And then she holds up about 5-7 yards before that, which the tree line's at like an angle. So I was like, oh man. And she held up and just started kind of grazing, and I was like, son of a bee. So I hurry up, quick move, held at the wrong pin, let an arrow go, and just watched it sail over her back. And I was like, are you kidding?
Early
and
that's what happens, huh?
You got that miss out of the way then.
Yeah, but it was the thing, and I was like, are you kidding me? And then she had no clue what happened. She kind of ran off. The younger doe ran around behind me, actually, and I was like, more so surprised. I might lose you here. But more so surprised at what just happened. If I would have knocked another arrow, I could have shot the other doe, but I didn't. I wanted to take the mature one.
Well, I hear the younger ones have better tasting meat and they're easier to drag. I only know that from experience.
Yeah, I probably had would have been about a 100-yard drag to my house, so I wasn't too worried about that. But
it's awesome.
But since then we've kind of had rain all weekend. So actually Sunday I just took care of some stuff and got some food plots moving in and stuff like that. So I just kind of took care of the maintenance and then just kind of been watching everything. So,
man, so you've got, what, 2 sits under your belt for the season and 1 arrow you got to let loose?
Yeah, so...
More than I've had.
I've been scoping out the public land north of us and everything like that, kind of been watching everything, and there's it's kind of like a little river sanctuary, but they fill into like 3 ponds. There's like a neck chokehold, and then you can go on the other side of it. So I've been thinking about, with all this rain, all the water's getting up, but I might throw the waders on and try to go sneak over to the other side and see if I can sit in the woods and see if anything's up there. But
cool,
it's just, yeah, I mean, I'm excited that everything's moving that quick. Coming up to the rut. Everything's coming, closer to the weather. Weather's getting cold again.
Well, apparently we're heading into the infamous October lull, which I don't fully believe in, but, we'll see how that goes for everybody. Happy October 1st.
Yeah. And I've heard plenty of guys talk about that. I mean, the Drurys talk about everybody. I mean, but you got to be out there, and I mean, all you got to do is have an unsuspecting deer, walk past you. I mean, everybody, so many people call it the lull, but are they out there actually sitting, or are they just taking everybody's word on it and staying home?
Yeah, maybe they're in the lull.
Yeah.
Netflix.
But I tell you what, 50 degrees and rain for the past 3 days, it's kind of putting me in this lull, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's been pretty crummy weather. I mean, and I could do without the heat, right? Like, it's hot today, and I'm not a fan. But
yeah, we had that.
Glad I'm not, I don't have a lot of time right now with the new baby to be out. Plus, I'm sick, so I'll take it, because if it was cold, crispy, and beautiful, I'd be really pissed.
No, I totally understand. We had that hot 80-degree nasty weather yesterday, and then it just dropped about 30 degrees and been raining, so it's chilling down. But yeah, it's definitely coming into fall. Leaves are starting to change colors more and everything. So
yes, sir.
It is
pretty trees in the neighborhood. Some further along than others, but it's looking great.
Yeah, for sure. Eric, my daughter wants to say hi real quick.
Let her on. You're on the Rut Radio.
Say hi.
Hi.
Hi. You're great. Thanks for saying hi.
She's my little hunter. She keeps asking when I'm gonna go deer hunting next. But she's 6 now, and last year she did her first sit with me, and it got really cold in December. So we're gonna kind of see, hopefully, if she'll be able to go with me. But she doesn't sit still too often. So
yeah, and you can't expect them to at that age. It is what it is. Be glad that they want to go out at all.
Yeah.
And just make sure that they're comfortable.
For sure. But turkey hunting's awesome with her, because you can put her in the tent, and she loves ripping on turkey calls and hearing them vocalize. So it works a lot easier and everything. And I know you and I are talking real quick, and we're gonna get you turkey hunting this year for the first time, so you can get that under your belt.
Yeah, between you and Greg, I think I'm covered here. Like, I got some guys taking care of me here. I'm gonna bring home a lot of meat this year.
Well, turkey hunting's a good place to start with a kid. Like you said, you can hide them in a tent. They can play around on calls, and it doesn't really affect them too much unless they're getting overly aggressive with the calls. But it's a great place for a kid to start, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And Greg, I totally forgot to mention you. Say hi.
No, hi.
Kind of been quiet over here. I totally forgot.
No,
but,
it's all good.
Well, dude, thanks for calling.
Yeah,
We'll leave the line open for a couple others if they want to call in and, right now you got a 100% chance of winning a heated hunt giveaway. So let's hope for everyone else's sake and get some calls in.
Right on. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to give you a call later during the 100th, but I'll definitely be listening. But congrats, man. Definitely a milestone.
Appreciate it, man.
Proud of you, and
thanks.
Excited for the upcoming. I know you've kind of told me, ideas you got and everything like that. So excited to see what the future brings.
You betcha, man. Well, have a good night. Tell your daughter thanks for calling in, too.
All right. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Eric, Greg.
Have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night, guys.
You too.
All right. Bye.
So this is normally when I just talk to myself, but now you're here.
And now I'm here.
So this works.
Yeah.
This is better. This is better than talking to myself. This is where I get real awkward. I don't know if you noticed, but I trim that part out of the Rut Radio when I actually do the production. Mm-hmm. So you don't. If you're watching, you get to hear me talk to myself. But if you're listening to the podcast,
and everybody on Facebook Live,
that's right. Everybody
gets to see us talking right now.
Yeah, what do you guys think of the new? Give me some comments here. I can see them coming in. We got a total of 5 of you watching, but we got this nice little fancy GoPro over here, taking some film. We got Greg's buck up on the wall. You got a story behind that guy for the next caller until we get the next one in.
The short and condensed version.
Sure.
Yeah, it walked in. I shot it. It hopped 10 yards and fell over. The short and condensed version.
Was it in tall canary grass?
It was in tall canary grass after it came out of some cattails.
It came out of cattails, and then you had a good shot of the vitals. You didn't have to do any guesswork or anything?
No, I had a clear shot of the vitals, 20 yards, slightly quartering to me. Yep. So I showed you a little mark there where the broadhead entered. I was probably about 14, 15 feet up a tree. He came in, stopped, just past a scrape, and I just picked a spot. I saw how big his antlers were, picked a spot, and settled the pin right on him and let the arrow go, and it felt good. I watched it disappear into him. It was like it happened in slow motion. Mm-hmm. You could see my fletchings disappear through his hide, and I heard the loud pop. The telltale pop that you heard. The pop. Yep, where you hit him just right. And he came in thinking I was another deer because I had a grunt call, and I grunted him over. So, and when he did, he stopped quartering to. I was already at full draw and just settled in right up past what I thought was a shoulder blade, and I ended up clipping just a little further ahead than maybe I wanted to, but that broadhead that I shoot is pretty sharp, and it's not a real wide cutting diameter, so it gets real good penetration. Yep. And I ended up cutting the top of his heart off and puncturing lungs, and he jumped about 10 yards, turned around, looked back at me like wasn't sure what happened, like he had just gotten stuck by another deer or something, like he was ready to fight, come back and fight. And then all of a sudden he started to sidestep, and he crashed in the canary grass, and that was the end of him.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I couldn't have asked for an easier track job.
Beautiful buck too, man.
Yeah, I'm proud of him. It's my first good buck with a bow, so yeah, I'm real happy with him. I hunted mobile all last year, which is the first time ever hunting fully mobile all year long. And I think I had 2 sits on a small piece of private. I'm an equal opportunity hunter. If I've got permission
for both,
I'll hunt both. It makes no difference to me. But hunting public was a lot of fun. There's a lot of opportunity there, so a lot more opportunity than some of the smaller private pieces I have. So I can move around with the wind better.
Well, I've hunted private land that was leased, but not I actually never really got on anyone's actual private property before. So the camera died for a second. That's what that beeping was. It's back on now. So I'll have to look at that in the interim between this and the next thing so it doesn't happen. People can still hear us.
Sure.
So no big deal there, but the camera went blank. So I think it times out. I'll have to figure out how to deal with that.
Right.
If anybody watching knows how to, thanks, Jeff, not have a GoPro timeout, that would be helpful. I'm still learning. So I always joke and say it's not a podcast unless something goes wrong. So welcome to podcasting, because this is what happens.
Things go bad.
No matter how you slice it, something's always going to go wrong.
For sure.
But at the moment, Kyle's our only contestant to win a Heated Hunt's shirt, hat, and Heated Hunt scent dispenser.
Lucky for Kyle.
So hopefully we get at least another caller and to get the odds a little bit. Not like I don't want you to win, Kyle. I'm just saying, is the only caller. That's what it is. But I mean, honestly, we are coming up to what people call the October lull. So I imagine it will be, leading into the tail end of October, pretty quiet from some guys and gals out there. I've been seeing bucks hit the ground though.
I don't know. I'm with you. I don't fully believe in the October lull, especially if you're a mobile hunter. I mean, you're moving around and trying to find where those deer are.
Yeah.
And if you're a buck bed hunter, that shouldn't matter. Then you got to get a little closer to that bed in order to see that deer on its feet.
Yep.
It's just the way it is, and it doesn't matter if you're hunting a swamp or a marsh or hill country. You get close to a bed and you can get in there undetected, quiet, and you're playing the wind right. You shouldn't have a problem.
Well, that's
seeing something.
Really good point, because if you're a bed hunter, and even if it is a lull, let's just pretend that is, right?
Right.
And that's where they're spending all their time, is near and by their bed within a certain range. But if you know where that is, then you know how to play the wind and get in there right near, a little bit more extreme. Then you're not just waiting for something to serendipitously happen.
Right.
Which is what makes the rut fun, because now they're on their feet.
They're on their feet, and anything can happen.
Yep.
You could have 4 hours. You could get in there and think, man, this is going to be a great morning. The weather's right. The moon's up. I don't have a lot of wind. Whatever, your ideal conditions, and you can go in there and you can sit, and all of a sudden there's nothing there. There's nothing there for hours, and then you decide to get down from your stand and maybe walk back to the truck, grab a sandwich, and then all of a sudden you bump one on your way out, or you find sign when you come back from lunch that something was definitely
holy
there.
Crap, yeah.
Yep.
Do you think it's the case that if you are a bed hunter, that when the rut comes around, you might want to just throw that out the door for the moment?
I don't think so. I mean, you could still hunt the beds. If you're hunting a bedding area and the buck is pretty hell-bent on being in that core area because he's got what he needs there, he's got his does, and we know you're going to bump does out of bedding areas, right?
Yeah.
If he's got does there, he's got his security, he's got his food, and water not far away. I mean, this plays in with swamps and marshes, because some of them, all they got to do is jump off a high spot and they can get a drink of water, nibble on some branches and lay back down again, check the wind. That's it. They don't have far to go.
It's true.
So,
and it might be one thing to consider, just, I don't know. I think it was like 3 years ago, I got pretty excited to hunt an area because I knew there were a lot of does there. So I thought, well, one of these freaking does might, go into heat, right?
Yeah, or it
and
could
get
be
hot,
heat.
and maybe that'll bring in the bucks. So maybe I didn't have any eyes on bucks in this spot, but I had confidence in the fact that maybe one's going to come by because I know all the does are bedding. Is that a good kind of strategy? I don't know where I got that idea from, but
I think it's a good strategy, and this can go many different ways. I think the end result is if you have does around during the rut, it's a pretty good place to be.
Yep.
If you don't know where the beds are in an area, or you're limited, like I had a piece of property, residential property, that I hunted. I had permission there for 3 or 4 years, and historically there was always does in that area. They'd bed on the neighbor's property. The way the ridge was, they could bed. They could see anybody coming in the driveway. They could watch the neighbor's dog come out. Didn't matter, but they had their food there. They had security. They could have eyes on anybody walking up the driveway or down the road or the neighbor's backyard where their dogs were running. Didn't matter. They were pretty smart. They were well educated. They were very aware of human presence and where it was and where it shouldn't be.
Sure.
And just like deer out in the middle of some of the public lands that I hunt, some of those marshes, they smell human scent. They know that shouldn't be there. If they wander out to a certain trail where people do walk very often, they're okay with it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So Jeff Vance with Bucks of America just commented, have you guys seen the 31 pointer out of North Carolina? And I have not.
No. Haven't.
31 points?
That's
Jeff, are you kidding me? You're going to have to share that photo in the thread, buddy.
Yeah. Share it up. We got to see.
I mean, I've heard of the 21 pointer, but
well, and there was just a big one killed somewhere here in Wisconsin. Well, there's a couple big ones, but I've seen it come across quite a few threads. And to be honest with you, I didn't really read into it too hard as to where it came from, but a younger gentleman shot it. It's a dandy.
City shot on opening day. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, then it's like, what do you do from there?
Yeah. Well,
I'm done.
No, you get ready for next year. You're not done. You get ready for next year. You find another one to chase.
Yeah, I don't know if you'd ever find another 31-pointer, but
No, but
holy crap.
I mean, that's setting the bar pretty high. But you can find other good bucks to chase unless they just really let the wind out of your sails, or you just lose the eye of the tiger to want to go out and do that anymore. Yeah.
I would be, I don't know how I'd feel, because I kind of like the process.
Yeah, the process, the putting in the work.
And I don't know if I would do a 31-pointer anyways, for the record. I don't even, it's like too much buck for me to handle.
Whatever.
It's like if, Holly, if you're listening, I'm just saying, if there was a supermodel before I met you, sometimes it's like, I don't know if I can handle all that, I don't want to deal with that. Or like the sports car. Yeah, Ferrari sounds great, but the tires are like $2,000 a pop,
Yeah,
I'm just, maybe it'd be fun once to see one, but not to get one.
If you're on an F-150 budget, you're not going to be affording
the Ferrari.
Exactly. Not so much.
Well, you get them, I guess the taxidermy bill is going to cost as much as it would cost regularly, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't matter.
Unless the guy says, no, this is a big one.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to charge you for this.
You're looking at the same unless you decide to do a full body mount or something crazy.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And we got about 4 minutes left of the Rut Radio. If we don't get another call, we'll kick it down because we got to do some prep for the next segment of the show. And clearly I got to do some camera testing to figure out why that thing wants to turn off after 15 minutes. But
it can only handle so much of us.
Yeah, I almost wonder if I need to hit the record button. I don't think I should have to do that, but we'll see. We'll see what to do. It's just fun stuff. But I don't know. We only got a couple viewers in here right now. If anybody wants to call, jump in. Jeff shared that picture. Let's see if I can pull it up and share with the audience real quick. Oh, yeah, I did see this. I didn't realize that's where it came from. Massive Rack Green scored 199 for ace. Tory Peg poses with his Guilford County beast from opening day in 2019. Yeah, that thing's huge. 31 points, though? Like, am I not counting correctly? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe. Maybe there's some more photos out of here. That's a big buck. That's pretty cool. Thanks for sharing that, Jeff.
Thank you.
All right. 2 more minutes, guys, and I'm cutting it off. That's it. So again, I just jumped on. I have to stay on top of big bucks. Yeah, I wish I could find one that big.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of scouting. It's a lot of time. I mean, you'll stumble on one, I guess, but you use all the resources you can, even if it's hearsay. You
the guys that get them consistently year and year and year over and over again, those guys are the ones that
time put in.
They've figured some shit out and they're putting it to use and they're after it. Yep. It'd feel good to get that good at something.
Sure.
Whether it's hunting or anything else. You
right.
feel that good when you figure out how to fish walleyes, right?
Right. Fish walleyes, or I'm big into salmon fishing. I figured it out after a couple of years, and consistently I can put a few over 20s on the boat every year.
Yeah, we did it this last summer.
Yep, we did.
And that was fun.
Oh, it was a blast.
It was a ton of fun, and you were a real pro out there. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you did better than most of the big guys out there.
Wow. It's sometimes less is more with that.
Yeah. Well, less is more than more big fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got some lunkers. We had that one that jumped straight up out of the water.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
Yeah, I've never seen a king salmon launch itself that high out of the water before.
that was crazy. And I didn't get seasick, so that was good.
Yeah, that was a bonus.
Jared Norwood, you're a day late and $1 short, big guy. We're about to close this segment off, and we'll pop back on at 7 o'clock for the 100th episode of the Where to Hunt podcast. So for those of you that want to pop back in then, please do so. We'll talk to you in a little bit. We're going to cut this one for now, and we'll see you guys soon.